Chinese four-wheelers, love them or hate them. We bought our first Chinese four-wheeler back in 2006 when my youngest son turned 3. It was a 50 with electric start, 4-stroke. He rode that thing everywhere for over a year, and it finally gave up. The problem with it was the ring is wore and it lost compression, would not run anymore. But for $325, could not beat it. This one is a 125 Coleman from Tractor Supply. It lasted about a month and started smoking and blowing oil out of the crankcase. I assume the rings on it went bad very quickly and did not do anything with it for probably a year. I didn't really know there was parts available for them. Grandson who just turned 5, really wanting to ride it. I have plenty of four-wheelers around here and he's one he could ride. So I decided to tear it down and found the problem almost immediately. And here it is upon teardown. Head gasket's blowed. I can't see it in the lens, but you can probably see it when I play it back in the shade. But you can see right there where it blowed. And that was causing all the problems. I wish I'd have tore it down a long time ago. But that's all on me. So I got on eBay, did a little searching and found a replacement head gasket for it. I think for the whole gasket kit it was less than $20. So we're going to put it back together and that should fix it, and we'll see how she runs. Like I said, my grandkids really enjoy this. My granddaughter, she's just turned 7 and he just turned 5, so they'll get a lot of use out of it. Anyway, here we go. We're going to get into it. Honestly, if I hadn't had this little table to set it on and get it up high, I probably still wouldn't be working on the thing. It's so little and I'm just don't want to lay around on the floor anymore like I'm doing on that. But for the grandkids, got to get it going. Here's our new head gasket, just like it. You can see the oval hole right there. A lot of them on eBay have the round hole, and you pretty much got to go by the picture, and hopefully they took an accurate picture of the actual part. But this fits perfectly, and we're going to get in there. Should have it running about an hour or so, I hope. As long as I don't get any stripped out head bolts when I torque them down. I'm going to do some searching on the internet and see if there is a torque value out there. As you can see, the piston is not at top dead center. I'm going to pull on the timing chain to get it up top dead center, because without taking body panels off, you can't really get anything to turn it. So I think that's going to be the best solution. Oh yeah, the gasket kit came with all that kind of stuff too. It was a complete gasket kit. The money was just crazy low. I could have took it back to Tractor Supply, but they wouldn't have done anything about it, I'm sure. I could be wrong, but you know how that kind of stuff goes. This little cart is great. I can turn around the four-wheeler, the part I want, to the sun easily enough. So I can get in there and pull my timing chain and bring the piston to top dead center. I could have done it the other way, but I thought this would be a better light for filming. So let me see if I can get that done. Alright, let's see if we can get the piston to top dead center. Oh shoot, not gonna be as easy as I thought. Oh, there she goes. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but there she is. Top dead center. I'll do some cleaning while I got it up there. It's been smoking and burning off so long. Got a lot of carb in there. And where's the head at? Probably need to get the head cleaned up too. see. You can also see right there where it blowed. So I'm gonna see if I can get that cleaned up a little bit. New spark plug wouldn't hurt it for sure, but I'll have to run to town to get that. But we'll see how the assembly goes. I'll be back with you. I'm going to clean the surfaces with a little bit of brake clean. Get that head gasket the best chance it can to hold out. Because it blowed for a reason. Assembly or something. So I'm trying to get it just as clean as I can. Free from oil and dirt. Be very careful about putting it back together. It's a cool little four-wheeler as far as all the lights and features it's got. It's just, you know, a lot of features for a little bit of money you're going to get cheap built. But if that less than $20 part to fix it, I'll be fine. You know, as is with a lot of Chinese stuff, I'm not real crazy about the precision. You can see it, we got a little bow right there. It's had a hard time going down over that sleeve on the bottom on this side head bolt. I'm having a little trouble getting over that sleeve on that top one over there. And I got the bow right there, right where the old one blowed. So I don't know if I can make the gasket a little bit bigger or just try to get it on there then let the head compress it. I'll have to decide. Alright, I didn't like the way it was going on there and bowing up. So I'm going to make these two holes here a little bit oblong so it'll lay in there flat and easy. That's probably why she blowed in the first place, because they didn't get it on there the way it should be. I wish I'd ordered two of these in case I screw one up, but I didn't. So anyway, I'm gonna get a razor knife, make it a little bit oblong, and see if it'll just slide on there easily. As long as these two right here line up with the dowels, it should be good to go. I'm beginning to think this is not the right gasket, even though everything lines up perfectly except for them two top holes are not oblong enough. When he lined them up, the little screw hole here does not line up exactly, but if I can make them oblong enough, then everything will do right. So I don't know if it's the wrong one or it's just Chinese quality, but like I said, I wish I'd have ordered two in case I screwed this one up, because my grandson will be disappointed, and so will I. We're going to see if we can make it work. If you put it up against the whole old head gasket, you can clearly see, if you get all this lined up, that the top two holes don't quite match. They, like I said, they need to be oblonged, and I'm going to try to oblong them with a razor knife and hope for the best. I'm going to look for a little Dremel tool that we've got somewhere. See if I can oblong them a little bit easier than a razor knife. Let me see if I can find that. Alright, here we go. This right here should do the trick. Find the little tool. Here we go. Alright, cool. You can definitely see how the old gasket, the holes are almost in the compression ring. This is what I call it. And these over here are not. And that's our problem. Everything else down here lines up pretty good, but this doesn't. So we're going to see if we can make it work. Well, you know what they say, third time's a charm. I'm not sure this is my third time or not, but it's on there and everything looks good. Everything lines up. All our air lines up. So, and I didn't get as thin as the other head gasket is over there. I see a little burr I need to clean off. So, and like I said, it didn't blow there anyway, but we'll make sure everything torques down good clean them up a little bit, and hopefully I get the right torque on them and it don't strip out any studs. So we'll see how she does. It should go pretty smoothly from here. All right, we're gonna go a little out of order here. I'm waiting for my son to bring home the tap and die set, clean them threads up, and clean them caps up too. So we're gonna move on to one more thing I was gonna do to this four-wheeler. Find that nut and put it back over there before I lose it. That'd be great. These Chinese four-wheelers, the spacing on the wheels aren't the same. Irritates the crap out of me. I don't know why they do that. But I ordered some 2-inch spacers, which I think is going to do to be the right size, but if they stick out a little bit further, it's alright. Make it a little more stable maybe. So we're going to see how these go on there, see how these work. These wheels are a little odd because they have bolts on this side and nuts on this side, but they're not beveled for rims. Them over there are built for beveled lug nuts, but I think I can switch stuff around and make it work. So we're gonna get to it. See what size, probably a 14, I'm guessing. Let's see. Shoot, it might be 13. Okay, 13. Alright, I'm gonna pop this one off, see how she goes. Alright, my little impact only got off 2 of them, so I got the ratchet out. I just wanted to mention, this is one of the best designed ratchets I've ever seen. This right here, not necessarily the brand, but the design, that head right there, that has come in handy so many different times. I've had this thing for 30 years probably, and it is just the best. Comes in handy. A lot of times you wouldn't even think you need it, and a lot of times you don't need it, but you still use it. It's just great. Well, I didn't know it, but these hubs are threaded and had a locking nut on the back. I thought it was just a bolt and nut, so I almost stripped out the threads right there. I did mess up the bolt a little bit, but I can get another bolt if that one doesn't work. But lesson learned. And of course we got some setbacks on this. I'll show you what it is. Spread the caliper out. Got some more. Alright, I'm gonna have to put this phone down. I'll be back with you. Alright, the outside diameter of this lip right here is 88.36. The problem is this is smaller, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do about that. That's aggravating. Alright, let me see what I'm going to do. Alright, I figured out what I'm going to do about that size pivot. What I did, I took an air Dremel and dremeled the whole outward fit. It took a little bit. It was not easy. It took me about 30 minutes to get this one. It's not very pretty. The next one will do better because I learned a little bit on this one, but it does now fit over that pretty snugly, so I'll be good there. As far as I can go on that, I'm going to have to run to town and buy some longer bolts to come through here and see if I find some lug nuts that are beveled so them holes will seat like they're supposed to. And I'll get back on that later. Right now I'm going to get back on the head and get this thing cranked up and see how she's going to run. My son brought home the tap and die set, so I'm going to clean them threads up right there and start assembling. Alright, threads are chased. That one looks a little better. So we'll see if we can get the head on there, get the timing chain all right, and go from there. Alright, got the head slipped on there. I'm debating on whether to go ahead and torque the head down first and then put on the timing chain, or put on the timing chain first and then torque the head down. I don't know what would be advantage to either one of them. I guess I'll go ahead and torque the head down first. I think that'd be the thing to do. This has got an up arrow right there, so I'm assuming it's going to go up. Or it's an arrow, I'm assuming they pointed it up. Come on. This thing was a little bit of a pain to get off. Doggone it. Alright, put the phone down again. Alright, got it on. There was no getting that plate on with one hand, just because of the not so very close tolerances, I guess you'd say. I'm going to drop just a drop of oil on each one of them to help me torque them down. Hopefully without stripping out the bolts, because that would be a big mess. Anyway, I'm going to get on that, and after I get them torqued down, put the timing chain on and be pretty close to starting it up after that, after I get the carburetor mounted back. So cool. Got them on there. I'm fixing to Google Chinese four-wheeler head torque and find out what they say. Alright, I looked at the head bolt torque. As near as I can see or find, it's 16 Newton meters, which is kind of scary. That's pretty tight on this torque wrench. I'm going to start out with 5.65 approximately. Torque them all to that, then step it up a little by little, I believe. So let's see if we can get it going. That one snugged a little bit right there already. That one snug. These hadn't hit yet. I'm just happy I can get the torque wrench on all of them easily enough. That's the worst one, but it's okay. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get this torque down. No reason to video this. Got the sprocket on there. Timing's very, very close. That should do it. I'm having to clean off the old gasket on the head. And I was thinking to myself, why in the world didn't I do this when I had it out? Jeez. Alright, we're back. My phone died and I got a little carried away, put everything together. Got the intake on, got the exhaust on. This bolt right here was stripped out when I took it apart, but I'm going to stick it back in the hole anyway. It won't tighten up, but it'll be in there. Put the spark plug wire on, and it'll be ready to try, I believe. This thing's got a metal gas tank on it. Yes, believe it or not, they're cheaper than a plastic gas tank. The reason why they do it, that's the only reason. That's not number 10, must be number 9. And I've got a number 9. Well, I just Took the ratchet off the number 9, but I can put it back on. And snug it up. Anyway, I should put some Loctite on it, but it might be a number 8. Looks like a number 8. It is, of course. There is a couple things that are number 9 here. I think the cam sprocket bolts are number 9. I think that's the only thing. Yeah, a little nervous. All right. We're going to turn the gas on. Got my phone plugged into a cord, so. Guess it's up there. Turn it on. There's the filter. And I guess she's ready to try. Wish I could see it there. Let me set this down and get a stool where I can sit there, because this shows everything. Cut myself off talking, but that's alright. We're going to turn her on. This thing, 223 miles on it. Oh, not bad. It shows in neutral. Alright, let's hit the starter. Oh, I got to hold the brake. Shoot. I think it's got a lock on it I can do, though. Set the phone down. Alright, let's hit the starter. Woo! Oh, gone! Look at that. We got to idle too fast because it didn't want to run. Oh, gone. Need to slow her down. Alright, I'm going to shut the phone off a second. Alright, I'm pretty sure the choke was on. It's hard to tell on this thing which is choke, not choke, but I think that's not choke now. I'm going to have to, I'll just fix to start back up, but I wanted to get the camera going first and find what I just done with the screwdriver I just had in my hand. Alright, got my screwdriver. Let's hit the starter again. Switch her on over there and hit the starter. A little faster. That's slow, damn good there. Might need to speed it up a little bit. Let's see. Doggone it. I got this light on the wrong side of me now. Let me turn it around. Alright, let's try it again. I'm still not sure choke's on or off. Might be out of gas too. Let me check the gas. Where's my stool? Don't seem to be out of gas. Probably need to go ahead and determine your choke's up or down on this thing. It was always confusing. Let's see. I'm pretty sure down is choke. So when you put it down, it quits now. I'm going to pull the breather off and make sure But I'm sure this breather's oil soaked because it's been spitting out oil through this carburetor for a long time running that blowed head gasket. So I'm sure it's oil soaked, which it may be supposed to be oil soaked to a point anyway. Alright, see if I can get it off. Yeah. No, up is choke. Down is off choke. Up is choke, down is off. Okay. This back on. Okay. Let me do some adjusting. I had actually turned the gas off. Got a little, not smooth yet, but I'll get it there. Got the breather off too, so that makes it not run quite as good as it would. It needs a little suction. It needs to have to suck a little bit hard to suck the gas up out of the bowl. But it's running pretty good and no smoke. So I'm going to clean out the breather, drain the carburetor bowl, crank it back up. See, I made this for my grandson. I made it a little bit longer, so it's easier for him to push and reach. See right there. That whole thing I put on there. But I think I can get it running nice and smooth. Get her cleaned up a little bit. Take you for a ride. Alright, got somewhat of an update. Seems to be running pretty good. I had to adjust the idle with the cable instead of the idle set screw there. It's all the way in and still idles a little bit low. So I don't know if that's something to do with the carburetor bowl. This kind you can't take apart. I mean, I've done it before, then put screws in it somehow. I can't remember, it's been a while. Because cheap Chinese carburetor. But it seems to run pretty good. I just wish I could adjust the idle with the idle screw. But not bad. Not idling as smooth as I'd like either, which I think is back to the carburetor. But we'll run it a while, see how she does, see if it gets better. One thing about this car, you can roll this thing out of the way anywhere you want to go. I'm going to get on that bike right there and go get some bolts for this. And I'll be back. Alright. This has got to be cut out to fit that hub on the Chinese four-wheeler. Nothing has been bolted on. Everything had to be modified, including the head gasket I bought for that. So what I've been doing it by hand. Sort of by hand. And it's taking a while. I've already done the other one. I know this is not going to fit, but I'm going to go check, see how close I am anyway. It should be getting close. Alright, finally got this one on there. The other one fit a little bit better. I'm forcing this one on just a hair. But I marked it, was going to take it back off, and I can't really get it off, so I'm just going to leave it, tighten it up good, it'd be fine. There's no gap right there. And that's the main thing, because it'll work loose, and I'll just keep eye on it. Alright. Alright, got it on. Let's look at the spacers. Alright, looks a lot better. extra whirl way in. They'll get muddy now. Of course, they were getting muddy from the front tires anyway, so it don't matter. I did put a new plug in it. Hadn't started it back up yet. Let's see. I don't think there's anything wrong with the other plug. Right, switch it on. Just hit starter. I might have to choke it. Let's see. Yeah, cold. Just run a little choke on it. Ooh. That's old gas smell too. It had been sitting for a long time. I smell that old gas. Whew. Maybe that's part of it. I'm sure it's part of it. Get another side where I can choke it. Let's see. Up his choke. Here we go. I may have pulled the bowl off that carburetor. The jet's a little stopped up. That's normally what's wrong when it won't run without the choke on it. Of course, it's still cold. Carburetor has come apart, darn it. I'll run it for a little bit, see if it gets any better, but that's what's going to have to happen. Main thing is it cranks right up and no smoke. It was smoking like you wouldn't believe. Alright. I don't know if I add more to this video or not. This may be the end of this particular one. Alright, y'all have a good day. Alright, got the head gasket fixed, got the wheel spacers on. Where it don't look so ridiculous. Looks a lot better. Ooh, gotta hold the brake, hold on. There she goes, running. No smoke. Let's see. Put it in gear. Seems to be running pretty good. Idle. Just right for the kids.